The province were evacuated today after suspicious packages were sent to several Supreme Court buildings, including those in St. John's, Corner Brook and Grand Falls, Windsor. Court was in session at many of the courthouses today when the packages were received. In St. John's, the case NTV News was covering was on a mid-morning break and was just about to resume when sheriff's officers told us we had to evacuate.
So around 11:44 this morning, RNC officers were alerted to a suspicious package that had been located here at the Supreme Court here on Duckworth Street. Immediately the building was evacuated, and our emergency disposal unit, our explosive disposal unit, then were called to the scene. At this point in time, what we are doing, the package has been examined. It is not deemed to be an immediate threat or an explosive device.
There were similar events reported at other courthouses, including those in Corner Brook and Grand Falls, Windsor.
Today we've had reports of similar packages in Clarenville, which was actually intercepted out in Kemmount Road as it was being transported in. Gander, Grand Falls, Windsor, Stephenville, Corner Brook and in Wabush.
After about 4 hours, police in special hazmat suits entered the courthouse to secure the package. They emerged from the building about 20 minutes later with the package. Police say there have been similar packages sent recently to courthouses in other provinces.
What we have had within the last couple of weeks in Manitoba and in Nova Scotia, both having similar instances as suspicious packages being delivered. So we were doing a collaborated effort with the police forces in those provinces as well to determine the safety or the type of device that we might be dealing with.
Affected courthouses are expected to be open again in the morning. In other provinces, the packages are believed to have originated in Hong Kong.
Also in Corner Brook, a suspicious package was discovered as well today. NTV's Don Bradshaw reports on the evacuations of courtrooms there.
This was the scene outside the Corner Brook courthouse today after all staff inside the building were evacuated when a suspicious package was discovered in the mail. The package is believed to have originated from overseas and was addressed to the Supreme Court here.
It's an envelope with some sort of labeling that certainly that they were on the lookout for. Is something that they were anticipating because it's an envelope from China and it's raised their suspicion.
The package was one of a number of similar envelopes that arrived at courthouses throughout the province today and mirrors events in other jurisdictions throughout the country in recent days.
Apparently, all I can gather is that the package itself is similar in nature to what's been discovered in other jurisdictions. I think that's what tipped the people in the building.
Initially, everyone who was inside the courthouse when the envelope was discovered just before 11 a.m. today were quarantined as officials tried to determine the contents of the package and possible associated health risks. After a little more than an hour, all but 3 staff members were released. Those who came directly in contact with the envelope were decontaminated as a safety precaution and sent to hospital for a more thorough medical examination.
The people that didn't actually touch the package were not at risk, and so we released them after that. But the ones that do touch the package, we felt it was prudent to just have a shower and have them assessed.
The courthouse was closed for the remainder of the day as the hazardous materials unit from the Corner Brook Fire Department cleared the envelope from the building. Mr. Buckle says there doesn't appear to be any cause for concern as to possible medical risks for anyone inside the building.
We think the risk is low because what we have is a package that has not been opened, so it's a package that they've touched. So we don't know. The risk is low, but I'll leave that to the medical guys to determine.
All affected courthouses throughout the province are expected to resume normal operations on Thursday. However, officials will remain on high alert for any suspicious packages that may show up. For NTV News, Don Bradshaw, Corner Brook.
And today's events also had the government taking precautionary measures with the mail as mailrooms across the province were shut down. Justice Minister Darren King says the courts were first put on alert last night after the High Sheriff learned of suspicious packages being mailed in other provinces. NTV's Michael Connors now joins us live with more. Michael?
Thank you very much, Lynn. Well, it appears the packages were only being addressed to courthouses. However, the provincial government did take precautions and suspended mailroom operations at Confederation Building. It also shut shut down mailrooms in Gander, Grand Falls, Windsor, Corner Brook, Stephenville, and Happy Valley Goose Bay. Justice Minister Darren King says the courts actually began bracing for this last night. The province's High Sheriff heard reports of suspicious packages in other parts of the country, so he put this province's courts on alert.
The High Sheriff became aware last evening of incidents outside the province and the potential for it reaching Newfoundland Labrador. He reached out to our staff in the Sheriff's Office as well as officials with the Supreme and Provincial Courts to make them aware, to be on alert for possibilities of something like this happening. Not anticipating at the time, by the way, that it would actually happen today. Packages arrived today and the business continuity plan was implemented, emergency procedures, staff were evacuated, emergency personnel were contacted, police, ambulance, fire. As far as I know, as of now, to the best of my knowledge, excuse me, the RCMP and the police have indicated there doesn't appear to be any danger to the public, but the investigation's unfolding.
Now, the government has announced that all of its mailrooms will reopen tomorrow. Meanwhile, the last that we've heard from the police on this is that 5 packages were intercepted in RCMP jurisdiction and 3 packages were intercepted in RNC jurisdiction for a total of 8 packages across the province. The RCMP say that 3 of their packages came from the same international address and had similar contents to packages that were intercepted in Nova Scotia. So that connects this story to what has been happening in other parts of the country. The investigation is continuing.